Hare Krishna, my name is Padma Lochan here at New Govardhan, Australia, and today is the Divine Appearance Day of Raghunath Das Goswami. So today I'll be presenting a short PowerPoint glorifying Raghunath Goswami to the best of my ability. So Raghunath Das Goswami was an extraordinary personality. All the Goswamis are extraordinary personalities, and that's one of the most amazing things about Vaishnavism. Our teachers and the previous acharyas that have walked before us aren't any usual personalities. They're personalities from the spiritual world, like Raghunath Das Goswami, who is Rati Manjari in the spiritual world, and they've come down to share this knowledge with us, and not only share, the Sikh Swamis actually presented Krishna consciousness in a way step by step for us to follow, so we may achieve the ultimate perfection ourselves and return back to the spiritual world ourselves. So let's get started. So Raghunath Das Goswami was born in 1494, so it's still not too far away from where we are now. So we're very blessed to have such personalities born so close to us, and sharing such amazing knowledge. So he's born in a small village of, many of you know this, Sri Krishnapur in West Bengal, so Mayapur. And his family was very wealthy, like even in today's age, unbelievably rich, millionaires, drowning within money. But he was never too attached to that kind of life. He never was, even though he came from a family of millionaires. He was an only son, so he could have inherited all that money and just lived a life of pleasure and luxury. But as we know, the end of the story, he does not go down that avenue within his life. So he was very fortunate at a very young age of only, I think it was before 15 years old, he was blessed enough to meet the Namacharya Haridas Thakur. So those who don't know too much about Haridas Thakur, he's known as the Namacharya within our movement, within the Vaishnava religion. So Haridas Thakur's presence enriched everyone who encountered him. His devotion, humility, and his teachings left an incredible mark on this bhakti tradition that we're involved in. He would chant the Maha Mantra 300,000 times a day. So you could just imagine how long that took him. Maybe 24 hours, quite close to that. And he was appointed the name, the Acharya for holy name by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And when his departure from this world was in the presence of Mahaprabhu, so very ecstatic personality. And Sri Haridas Das Thakur's life serves as an inspiration for us all, demonstrating that true devotion knows no boundaries of caste or creed. His unwavering faith in the holy name and his ability to forgive even those who sought harm to him. So his legacy continues to inspire seekers all over the world, reminding us the power of the holy name. So you could just imagine how extraordinary it would have been for young Raghunath Das Goswami to meet Haridas Thakur at such a young age, and he had such an impact on Raghunath Das Goswami. So in his boyhood, he had Balaram Acharya, who was a great scholar and a very advanced devotee of the Lord, and he would teach Raghunath Das Goswami about spiritual life. He's also the one who introduced him to the Namacharya Haridas Thakur. So he had fortune from such a young age, and not only that he had that fortune of meeting Mahaprabhu from such a young age. I mean, Haridas Thakur at such a young age. Not long after that, he also met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So at the age of 15, he heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shantipur, taking sannyas, recently taken sannyas, and his parents didn't really want him to go, but he bolted off and he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This kind of reminds me back in the 60s and 70s when many 16 to 18-year-olds were running off within their Western countries to meet Srila Prabhupada. Their parents weren't too happy about that, but we all know how that worked out. So, after the association of Haridas Thakur and also meeting Lord Chaitanya, Raghunath Das was living at home. He was married to a woman that is said to be of exquisite beauty, but he was just losing more and more interest within his material life. And within his head, he was trying to plan an escape. He wanted to meet up with Lord Chaitanya. He wanted to serve Lord Chaitanya's mission. So that was his life goal. It was on his mind 24/7. The riches that his parents had, the beautiful wife that he had, it just was not enough for him. He wanted something much deeper. He wanted something more spiritual. He wanted to live a life of depth. And that leads us to the next section of his life, when he got the blessings of Nityananda Prabhu. So we see here, compared to some of the other 6 Goswamis, that he was really reigned in blessings from such a young age. Born into an incredible family, had the association of great devotees, pure devotees from such a young age, who introduced him to the likes of Haridas Thakur. Also at the age of 15, meeting Lord Chaitanya, he was absolutely ripe for spiritual life and to do so much within his spiritual life and help so many others within their own spiritual life. So it is said that Nityananda Prabhu was very pleased with Raghunath Das Goswami, and he said that to him the exact words were, "Very soon your bright day will come." And he addressed all the devotees in association there. He said, "See this young boy. He has immense wealth in abundance. He has everything required for a young man's enjoyment, but he does not care for it. Krishna's grace has come down into his heart, so he does not care for anything within this world." And he was just blessing Raghunath, blessing after blessing. And he said to him, "I shall punish you. I want you to feed all my followers chip rice and yogurt." And hearing this command, Raghunath Das's heart overflowed with joy, and he quickly set about organizing a grand festival, later known as the Panihati Festival, which we still have to this day. Very ecstatic festival where we serve chip rice and yogurt to all the devotees. So this was a huge day for Raghunath. He got to serve all these very exalted devotees. Everyone was completely ecstatic at this festival. And once again, he's just put himself and placed himself in this incredible environment around such exalted, advanced devotees. Also, still at a very young age, his heart now just longing with love for Krishna, for devotees, and just really craving to join Lord Chaitanya's mission. So after this incredible upbringing, the association that he's had, the service that he's already got to do for the Lord and all his devotees, His heart couldn't handle it anymore. The worldly riches just weren't enough to contain him within material life. So it got to a stage, he knew his family, if he went, his family would realize that he was gone and they would search for him. Like, they had so much money, they could get 50 men out on the path looking for him at any stage. They could send people all around the world to find him. They had the money to do it. So he thought to himself, look, they're going to know that I'm going to go to Puri. Jagannath Puri, that's where Lord Chaitanya and all the devotees were at the time. And he said, I'm going to walk in the opposite direction. And he said that it took him around 12 to 13 days to get to Jagannath Puri. He took all the backtracks, just taking little milk. Within those 13 days, it is said that he only ate or took milk around 3 times. So he was starving by the time he got to Jagannath Puri. He'd lost so much weight. They could see it when he arrived, but it just shows the determination and devotion of Raghunath Das Goswami. He was willing to endure all those austerities, sleeping under trees, not eating, walking in heat. We're talking 40 to 50 degrees in India. For those who have been to India in that heat, it is intense. And he was just pushing on, walking every day. Like for myself, I went to Jagannath Puri via train from that same path. And that was austere for me on a train. So I could imagine walking that. It would have been intense, but it shows the devotion and love he has for the Lord. And when we read these pastimes, what he was willing to do within his own spiritual life, it inspires devotees all around the world to deepen their spiritual practices, to go above and beyond, to be able to get out of bed in the morning and do the basics within their own Krishna consciousness. So after 12 days, he finally arrived at Puri and was very ecstatic. He's seen all the devotees offering his obeisances to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was so glad to see his wonderful devotee who he cared for and loved very much. And Raghunath Das Goswami was just in complete bliss that he'd got away from a life that he just did not want to live. And he's found finally, after 12 long days, just eating very little, arrive, and once again he's in the association of the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya, and all his divine associates. And it is said that Lord Chaitanya put him into the care of Swarup Damodar, who was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, his secretary, his right-hand man. So Lord Chaitanya, after a few days, after he got his, I suppose, got back to normal after starving himself for 12 days and walking in 40-degree heat. So when he came back around, Lord Chaitanya gave him to Swarup Damodar to look after and to serve Swarup Damodar to the best of his ability. I'm sure many of you already know this, but Swarup Damodar is Lalita, one of the Sakis. So very extraordinary personality himself. So once again we see here Raghunath Das Goswami, so fortunate the association he's getting along the way here. Got to a stage though when Raghunath approached Mahaprabhu and asked, he wanted some personal instruction from Lord Chaitanya, from the Supreme Lord. You know, he'd been handed over to Swarup Damodar to be his servant, but he left home for Lord Chaitanya, and he wanted something strong, some divine instruction. I know many devotees around the world, they want to get some instruction from their spiritual master, something they can hold strong to within their life. And Mahaprabhu said this to him. He said, don't indulge in worldly talk. Don't hear worldly talk. Try your best to avoid mundane matters. Don't eat delicious food, but take whatever ordinary food may come of its own accord, and don't dress luxuriously. Always try to take the name of Krishna with the attitude of giving respect to others, without expecting respect from anyone else. Be humble and never aspire for respectful dealings from others. In this way, try to take the name of Krishna constantly, and within, try to serve Shri Radha Krishna in Vrindavan mentally. Be in Vrindavan rendering service to Shri Radha Krishna Leela. So that was the personal instruction from Mahaprabhu to Raghunath Das Goswami. So very powerful, and he absolutely took those instructions to heart. So this is one of my favorite pastimes when it comes to Raghunath Das Goswami. He was very austere, Raghunath Das Goswami. He didn't want to take anything. He slept only a few hours. He didn't eat much at all. His devotion was very strong. So much humility, so much love for the devotees, for all living entities. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seen this within the heart of Raghunath Das Goswami, and he gave him, what you're seeing on the screen right here is a Govardhan Shila with the Gunjamala. So that was a gift that he handed himself to Raghunath Das Goswami. And the Lord had this for 3 years. So this is absolutely amazing what you're seeing on the screen right there. And for all you nectar hunters out there, you can actually see this Shila today at the Gokul Ananda temple in Vrindavan. I've actually seen it myself, and it's quite something else. And for any new devotees who are watching this, who are in the very beginning stages of their bhakti yoga, this is how powerful Vrindavan is. We read about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, his associates. We read about the 6 Goswamis. You can read about the Panchatattva. You can hear stories about Krishna, Radha, the cowherd girls, the Manjaris. But when we go to holy places such as Vrindavan, Mayapur, all these stories and pastimes that we read about, that we hear about, they really come alive, and they come alive through things that we're looking at right now on the screen. So this is a Govardhan Shila, which was in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, Krishna, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he worshipped this, and he gave it to his great devotee, Raghunath Das Goswami. So this is just amazing to look at. Even just by looking at a picture of this, it's just absolutely mind-blowing. For those devotees out there who haven't been to Vrindavan, when you go to Vrindavan, go and check this out. So many temples in Vrindavan were built by the 6 Goswamis, or the 6 Goswamis were involved in building these temples. Their deities are there. Other Govardhan Shilas are there, like the one at the Radha Damodar temple. So it's just brimming Vrindavan with absolute nectar. It's bringing what we read about to life, and by going there and experiencing this, it helps one's own faith and encourages one on their own spiritual path. So it's very important to bring Krishna consciousness alive in your own life. It's just not this ordinary process, waking up, doing this, I've got to do that, I've got to do that. No, this is the perfection of life. And to really understand that, we need to put ourselves in positions and situations where we bring Krishna consciousness alive. We follow in the footsteps of Raghunath Das Goswami. We see that from a young age, he was always getting the right association. He was always willing to put himself in the best situation. He ran away from home that first time to meet Lord Chaitanya. So it shows, these great devotees who have walked before us, They're going above and beyond to put themselves in the best situation, and that helps one on their own spiritual life. By not getting the right association, by just sitting around, not putting in 110%, it's very hard to get the results that we see in the disciplic succession, because they're putting in 110% each and every day. And we can follow these great Vaishnavas. So take one more look at that Govardhan Shila. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So, with the passing of years, the devotion and austerities of Raghunath Das just continue to increase. It is said that he was chanting for 22 hours per day, sleeping just 1 hour per day, if that. Some nights he wouldn't even sleep at all, taking very little food and drink, just a drop of buttermilk each day. His fame was spreading all around the world. They wanted to come and see this mystic. He just had so much humility. Thousands of people would come and see him every day just to get his darshan. They wanted to see this great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he would offer obeisances to them every day. There was around 2,000 to 3,000 obeisances a day to the devotees who were coming to see him. He also offered obeisance to the Lord over and over again, and like I said, he was chanting 100,000 rounds a day. He just had intense devotion and austerities, and it just attracted sages, scholars, and spiritualists all around the world. Just wanted his darshan. Such an extraordinary personality, and everyone around the world should know him and his glories. So, over that pastime with Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, it is said that it was 16 years in Jagannath Puri. And I was in Jagannath Puri around 7 years ago. That's the last time I went there. And it's extraordinary. You can go to all the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Once again, these places come alive. You can see the bazookas that Lord Chaitanya walked in, so the shoes, the sandals, other artifacts of Lord Chaitanya, dhoti, and so forth. So always just longing to put ourselves in environments to enhance our own Krishna consciousness. So, that's just my phone. So, he left for Vrindavan to assist Rupa and Sanatana Goswami in their mission to re-establish Vrindavan to its rightful position as the, the pinnacle of holy places. And you see the picture here, there's a couple combined here, but there's one occasion where Sanatana Goswami witnessed Sri Krishna himself guarding his devotee from a pair of tigers that came to drink in Radha Kund. So Krishna came himself to protect his great devotee. And on another occasion, which we're seeing here on the screen, it is said that Sanatana Goswami seen Srimati Radharani drenched in transcendental perspiration, so sweating in this heat. Once again, the Indian heat is intense, people. So hot. Those who have been there in summer know all about it. And she was just smiling, holding her veil over her great devotee, just protecting him from the midday sun. And the six Goswamis, they see themselves as Srimati Radharani's servants. They chastise Raghunath Das Goswami for taking service from their masters. And this is where we see when we travel around the world now, especially the holy places, you see bhajan kutirs. So a place where a holy person sits to do their bhajan, so chanting, reading, meditating on these supreme pastimes of Krishna, the leelas, the rasas. So they built him a bhajan kutir because they didn't want the divine couple to come and serve him anymore, saying that we're the servants of the divine couple. So that's the origin of the bhajan kutir, for those who didn't know the origin of bhajan kutirs. So very popular now within the Vaishnava tradition. Many of the saints have had bhajan kutirs after Raghunath Das Goswami to perform their bhajan, to deepen their connection with Krishna and Radharani, of course. So he was actually instrumental in getting Sri Radha and Sri Radhakund and Sham Kund where they are now. So we know the pastimes are just very small, but they enlarged them, they renovated them, they knew the importance of them within the Vaishnava religion. And you see Shamakun these days, how it's not a perfect rectangle because of the 5 trees there, known as the 5 Pandita trees. So he mentions as that at some stage. So just this great devotee with so many good qualities who played such an important role within our tradition, bringing Vrindavan alive, helping us to deepen our Krishna consciousness by going there and seeing these holy sites. It's quite amazing. I gave a lecture early, late last year at Govardhan Puja, and talking about Govardhan Hill, Radhakund, Shamakun, and you kind of think, well, this is quite amazing. This Western man, and somehow I've had the privilege to learn about such holy sites around the world, especially in these holy places. And it's all due to Srila Prabhupada, who brought that to the West. But Srila Prabhupada, he was a great student of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, and we keep going up the line, and it's the 6 Goswamis. They're all taking this information, they're all taking this nectar which is flowing down this stream, this chain, and just sharing it with as many people as possible. And these 6 Goswamis did so much work. They wrote so many books. They brought Vrindavan alive so all of us can access Vrindavan like we see it today. We're just all so fortunate. So we should always be showing gratitude to the 6 Goswamis and offering our obeisances to the 6 Goswamis. Just amazing transcendental personalities who have given us so much. So he was totally detached from material enjoyment. And he's appropriately known as the Prayojana Acharya, one who teaches by his own example about the ultimate goal of life. So I really like this. This really resonates with me. I think someone who takes the spiritual life and someone who takes to Krishna consciousness and just sets a good example, does the basics right, does their best day in and day out. And by doing this and by following in the footsteps of the great devotees like Raghunath Das Goswami, the one who does this, the one who leads by example themselves, the one who follows in the footsteps of the great devotees who have walked before them, they're putting themselves in a great position, not only to lead by example for others who are beginning their spiritual life or having troubles within their spiritual life, but that individual is also going to attain the ultimate goal of this life, which is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. So I just love this about Raghunath Das Goswami, teaching by his example. And as we've seen, I've been talking from since he was a young boy, the association he was putting himself into, how desperate he was to put himself in those environments, the kind of qualities he had, the determination he had within his service to bring Vrindavan alive, the books that he wrote to share Krishna consciousness with the world so many years after he had passed. So Raghunath Das Goswami entered into the divine couple's eternal pastimes on Shukula Dvadashi in the month of Padmanabha in 1586. So like I said, he's Rati Manjari in the eternal pastimes and Manjari in the spiritual world. Normally around 8 years old, they're involved in helping the Radharani's maidservants put together these divine pastimes, create beautiful scenes for them. So yeah, these 6 Goswamis aren't any normal personalities. Manjaris from the spiritual world, and like I said, we're so fortunate, to be Vaishnavas and to have access to these personalities who've come from the spiritual world to give us the ultimate truth as it is. All we've got to do is follow in their footsteps, and our lives will be perfect. So here on the screen is his samadhi. It lies in Sri Radhakund. I was here around 2 years ago. This is one of my favorite places in this world, Radhakund, but especially at this samadhi. They've always got like harmonium instruments there. You can go there and do your own kirtan and do kirtan at his samadhi. Very powerful, potent place, a place where you can go and pray to Raghunath Das Goswami to help guide you within your Krishna consciousness. Once again, just, places like this within Vrindavan, we can go, we can visit the samadhis of the 6 Goswamis, we can pray to the 6 Goswamis, that Krishna consciousness awakens within our hearts. We can pray that we can follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Where we see in his life, he came from so much money, so much wealth, he could have had so much, but he had the intelligence, and many people, as this age goes on, in the age of Kali, intelligence is fading. People don't know what to do. Krishna consciousness, people, it's just getting washed away. People want to look at their Instagram account. They want to be on their phones all day. They're distracted by the glitz and glamour of the material world. TV, people watch like 6 hours of TV these days, and no one's really interested in cultivating spiritual life. But we see here someone who's so rich, he just knew there was no real life within that materialistic way. It's just fleeting happiness. It's like holding water within one's hand. If one wants true happiness within this world, they've got to cultivate their Krishna consciousness and follow in the footsteps of the great devotees like Raghunath Das Goswami. He could have had it all materially, but he had it all spiritually, and that's what's important. He lived a blissful, happy, transcendental life, which is touching hearts still to this day. And devotees right now can do that all around the world by just taking to this process of Krishna consciousness. We can be beacons of light for years to come down the track if we follow the previous acharyas and those great devotees who have walked before us. So for those who have never been to Vrindavan, or maybe you've been to Vrindavan but you've never been to Radhakund to see the samadhi of Raghunath Das Goswami, go there. Such a transcendental place. These places, to have these on earth where we're living right now, we are the most fortunate, and we've got to take advantage of this. So to finish up, I want to talk about, just finish with these incredible vows that Raghunath Das Goswami wrote. So the first one is, I shall love my spiritual master, the Gayatri mantra, the holy name of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, his associates, his elder brother Srila Sanatan Goswami, Govardhan Hill, Radhakund, Mathura city, Vrindavan forest, the land of Raj, the devotees of Lord Krishna, and the residents of Raj. So that's just incredible. So that's part one of that. I just want to bring it up on here. Where is it? Here we go. So one moment. So, and number 2 is, I vow that I shall live in the land of Raj birth after birth. Chatting casually to the villagers, I shall not live even for a moment in any other place, even if the Lord resides there in his deity form. And even if the great devotees fill it with the sweet nectar of transcendental love. Then text 3, even though I suffer in long separation from the divine couple, I shall not even for a moment leave the land of Raj, where Sri Krishna Radha Krishna eternally enjoys unparalleled transcendental pastimes. And I shall not, even if he himself invites me, go to see the opulent king of the Yadus in Dwarka. Number 4 is, if with my own ears I heard Radha has gone to Dwarka, where Lord Hari passionately embraces her to his chest, with an excited heart I would leave Rajapura and fly there faster than Garuda. Number 5, beginnerless or with a beginning, cruel or very gentle, merciful at every moment or merciless, greater than the king of Maha Vaikuntha or an ordinary human being. The son of Raja's king is my Lord, birth after birth. Number 6, not for a moment shall I go near a hypocrite who worships only Lord Govinda and does not worship the exalted Srimati Radharani, who is glorified by the Vedas and the great sages headed by Narada, and who is most dear to Lord Krishna. This is my vow. Number 7, I shall wash the lotus feet of anyone in this world who, bowed down with love, worships Lord Krishna and the nectar person who bears the name Radha. I drink that water, and every day I carry that water on my head. Number 8, abandoned by my friends, unintelligent, blind, and drowning in an ocean of pain, I bite a blade of straw with my teeth and beg, O Srimati Radharani, please lead me to your lotus feet. Number 9, my food a little of Raja's milk, my home a leaf hut, and my actions honest austerity and scripture study. I shall live in Radhakund by the best of mountains, and I shall die at the dear lake in the company of Srila Jiva Goswami and the other devotees. And finally, in a secluded place in Vrindavan forest, following my dear friend Srila Rupa Goswami, in many ways I shall earnestly worship Sri Krishna, who is more splendid than many cupids, and Srimati Radharani, whose glorious beauty defeats many goddesses of fortune. So that were his vows, and just so transcendental. He really lived his life by those vows. So that's bringing this presentation to an end. So I just wanted to do my best to glorify a great devotee of the Lord, which is Raghunath Das Goswami. We should always be studying the Goswamis. They have done so much for Vaishnavas for so many years. They've led by example. They've shown us the path. They've led by example with the way they've lived their lives. We shouldn't imitate the 6 Goswamis, but we should follow their teachings. They've written many books, and Srila Prabhupada's help us understand those books with such books as Nectar of Devotion. And if we just stick to the process within our own Krishna consciousness, if we're chanting 16 plus rounds, following the 4 regulated principles, reading books day in and day out, showing up to the program, and cultivating our love for Krishna and Radharani each and every day, we will attain the ultimate goal of his life, just as the 6 Goswamis did. So that finishes my presentation today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hare Krishna, and I'll see you very, very soon. All glories to Raghunath Das Goswami, all glories to the 6 Goswamis, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki